Welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday show. I am your host, Luci McMonagle. Women are recreating the rules for business, leadership, money, and they are changing the world in the process. Each week, join me for empowering messages and interviews that will inspire, motivate, and transform you. Giving a special shout out to Gordon Weary for creating the custom music that you are listening to now. Now, let's get started. Hey, this is Luci McMonagle. I'm so excited today to really bring you some really juicy, powerful, womanly magic and nature-bound information for you. Today I have a very, very special guest, and I'm so honored that Barbara Hanneloré has taken the time from her really busy schedule to be able to be on the Wealthy Wednesday show. Barbara is an award-winning author. She's a speaker, she's a mentor, and she's helping women reconnect with the rhythms of nature and as the feminine way of power. Ladies, I know you know what I'm talking about. And she also supports women to rediscover the power of their inner rhythms through the gifts of nature, through the sacred space, and through the healing arts. And she's been doing this for over 20 years. So make sure you grab a pen, grab a paper. If you're driving, please keep your eyes on the road, keep your hands on the steering wheel. We want to make sure you're safe. And we're going to get into some really deep discussions today, and we're going to talk about how you can empower yourself using your sacred feminine natural rhythm. So Barbara, I want to welcome you to the Wealthy Wednesday show.
Thank you so much, Luci. I love being here with you. I love your enthusiasm. I love how you really get this empowerment that we're talking about. And it's so wonderful to be able to gather like this and with all of our audience and share this. It's, I call it bringing ancient wisdom or timeless wisdom back into modern life. And it's a huge shift that's happening. And I just love that we're part of it.
Absolutely. And I want to thank you for having the courage to bring this huge shift to the women, to conscious women that are really ready to blossom through their own feminine power, through their own rhythms, through being able to utilize their cycles.
Yeah.
So that they can move forward. And we're going to be getting into some fabulous conversations. And we're talking about connecting women back to nature, back to their own original power. Mm-hmm. And you are such an expert in this. Can you explain this to us? And why is this so important, and why now?
Well, when you said conscious women, I have such an empathy for, because there are so conscious women and yoga teachers and business women and busy moms and holistic practitioners who have clients, and yet the menstrual cycle remains such a blind spot, such a missing piece for us. And when you think of the fact that we've never been told anything good about it, then no wonder we struggle with it and have a hard time. And it's been so hidden from us. Once I started looking into this and how other cultures have had such a different and really profound respect for the menstrual cycle, you hear that for the first time, you're going, what are you talking about? And that's how far removed we are from it. And I remember when I first heard somebody talk about the power of menstruation, I just thought she was so weird. And it was 10 or 15 years later before I started getting a clue of what she had even been talking about. And such a huge shift, because we've been told that anytime we acknowledge that our cycle affects us, it's a weakness, and that it's powerful to ignore it. And so what a shift it is, and it's brave of every woman that does this to take that shift and honor herself by allowing ourselves to toward our cycle with interest and curiosity and respect. Our body notices how we treat it, of course, and so that alone, we're so starved for good information that just that shift in attention or intention can start to change. I tell you, women read my book and their cramps go away forever. Things like that happen
Wow.
just because we're so starved for this information. And it's so powerful, as you were asking, Lucy, because this rhythm of nature is what we're connecting to,
Hmm.
and cycles are everywhere. They're how everything works. So our menstrual cycle is a rhythm of nature that's within us, like the moon or the seasons. And so there's this powerful rhythm already happening. I think of it like all the gears in a little watch, that are all working together. So our cycle is already happening. It's kind of synchronizing with other things and influenced by other things like the moon and the seasons. So all we have to do is step on board something that's already happening instead of fighting it. Can you imagine how much energy we save if we go with the flow instead of fighting it?
Oh yeah, that's kind of like trying to battle going upstream on a raging river
Yeah,
when if all we had to do was refocus our abilities and
yeah,
we would be in the flow. And
yeah.
you mentioned that people who just read your book have actually contacted you and said, I used to have terrible cramps. I used
Yes.
to have pain. I used to have suffering. I read your book and I started following it. And now
Yeah.
all of a sudden, I'm not in that much pain. I'm not fighting against my
Yeah.
natural rhythms. You
Yeah.
tell us a little bit of what is your book and how
My
can people
book,
get that?
okay, now I'm not even sure if this is backwards or forwards, but my book is called The Moon and You, A Woman's Guide to an
Yes.
Easier Monthly Cycle. And this
Mm.
book, I would just like to take the opportunity to say that this book won 2 awards for content, and I illustrated it myself, and it's got these trees. Let me just show you one of these trees. They're just, I take the opportunity to go through the seasons of nature in the chapters of the
Oh,
book.
that's
And
fabulous.
and so this book has 5 chapters. I started trying to write a really simple book about
Mhm.
PMS because that's a big. I focus on those parts of the month that we have difficulty with, the premenstrual and the menstrual time. And so I started
Mhm.
to just write about that. But my ideas about what PMS is goes so much deeper and broader than the mainstream ideas, to where I say it's part of a cycle. Nature's cycles are about balance, and so your premenstrual time is really a time of rebalancing. It's actually there to help you. And so the
Mhm.
premenstrual time is the completion of the cycle, like the autumn time, when you're harvesting and you're reviewing and you're pausing. And so that time is so valuable for us, and our dear body is trying to get our attention. If we're off balance, we get symptoms. And so,
Mhm.
we don't understand that, and we don't know what to look for, and we try to power through, like, oh, I'm supposed to power through this time. And sure, we can do that, but we not only exhaust ourselves and drain our resources, but it disconnects us from ourselves. And we don't realize that there's this deep well of magic and power for us if we sort of allow those those slower times to happen. And I don't want to scare anybody by talking about slowing down, because it's a scary thing to consider. Like if you're working, you need to get certain things done, but just little changes can help. Like just noticing, okay, I'm getting close to my menstrual time. um, Let me just take little breaks. I mean, maybe consider not talking as much. Honestly, that takes a lot of energy. So just consider. I've had yoga teachers who've said, oh, I didn't talk as much when I was teaching the class today. We did more breathing, and normally I would have powered through it, but this time I did it differently. And it's so that's an attitude of noticing what's going on with you, noticing what phase of your month you are in,
Mhm.
and then kind of accommodating yourself. And so in my book, getting back to my book, I'm going to find the calendar pages too, Lucy, because the end of chapter 2 here, somewhere I've got calendar pages. I've got a monthly calendar page, which has the month with the moons around it, just to remind you that
Mhm.
the moon phase is always with you, right?
Yes.
And then I have the annual page, which has a column for each month. So these are downloadable, and in fact, this is the gift that I have to offer at the end of our call today, is that you can download these And the monthly page, it's so simple, but this is really something, because what you do is you print out one of these and you plan ahead for the next month. So you mark on this page when you anticipate that your next period is going to arrive. And then you draw a red line. Just for example, you could draw a red line through the few days where you think it'll be premenstrual and menstrual. And what you do is you don't put anything optional on those days. So it's just that you're giving yourself the gift of free time. And so you can still do what you need to do. And the thing is that when you allow yourself to pull back a little bit and consider, if my attention isn't all on the radiant outward, that's more the ovulation part of the month. It's like the radiant outward summertime full moon part of the month is ovulation. But
Mhm.
now is the completion, where you're approaching your menstrual time, which is more like your autumn, winter, or your dark moon time. And so you just consider, if I allow this, if I allow myself to I always call it just taking a step back,
Mhm.
which allows you to sort of view your life from a bit of a different perspective. Then the following week, when your period is done, usually, is the time when you will feel this new energy, like springtime. And you're all like skipping and ready to go out and make new connections, and you have new ideas, and you're more likely to feel refreshed with this abundance of energy to charge out and get things done if you did take that time for yourself. Time for yourself, you deserve that. And there's just so much power that happens when you take that. I mean, the dark time is where imagination comes from. It's where ideas
Mhm.
gestate. So it's a very powerful time.
Well, and it is. And it's really just taking those few moments. And
Yeah.
when you say stepping back, you're not talking about just stopping everything.
No.
We're just talking about just taking a few steps back.
Yeah,
Just take a few moments.
that's right.
Take notice. Pay
Mm-hmm.
attention. And a lot of it really feels like you're coming back home to your
Yes.
body. You're coming back home to self-love,
Oh,
and you're starting to blossom. So
yes.
just like a flower, it has its little time when it's a bud, and then it has its time when
Yes.
it's getting ready to blossom, and then it blossoms, and then it dies, and then the next bud does the same cycle. And as women, when we're getting more in touch with our natural rhythms, with our menstrual cycle,
Yeah.
or if you're already finished with that, if you're already into
Yeah.
menopause, you still have a rhythm. You
Mm-hmm.
just don't have a physical symptom of it. Is that
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Hmm. Yes, that's right. And I just want to mention, when you say connecting to your body and connecting to yourself, this works wonders for women who just feel disconnected from their body, from themselves. And we don't know why. Well, connecting back to nature just solves so much. And then this aspect, again, that has been hidden from us, that we can actually connect back to nature through our own rhythm. It's amazing how you can feel more comfortable with your body, more connected to yourself, more empowered, definitely. So if we're not having a menstrual cycle, then we follow the moon cycle itself. And I find many women who've gone through menopause or who aren't menstruating for other reasons, if they want that rhythm, follow the moon. And you can use my calendars the same way to just mark what the moon is doing. And so you know when the next new moon and dark moon are going to be, and you mark those. So I find so many times that I'm feeling so discouraged, like I don't know anything, I don't want to do anything. And then I wonder where's the moon? And lo and behold, it's a couple of days before the new moon. So it's that dark moon time. The dark
Mm.
moon, the balsamic, is about the last 3 days of the moon cycle. And I just really treasure that dark moon time, because again, just like the menstrual time, it's a time we want to just rush right by, not pay any attention to, because yay, the new moon's coming. But that dark moon phase is so potent, and that rest can be so deep, and the deeper awarenesses come up then, sometimes bidden or not. And when we may encounter discomfort or old feelings, old traumas, things that come up at that time, it's the easiest time to access those things. And again, speaking of small steps, just paying attention, being willing to sit with the discomfort for a few moments, telling it that you see it. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to understand it, but just say, I'm here with you. I see you. I hear what you're saying. Anything you can do to acknowledge yourself will help that energy to get moving. And so that is something that can be done at the menstrual time. Anytime we're feeling that way, premenstrually, menstrually, or around that precious dark time of the moon. And once the moon turns new, it's still dark, as you know, for a couple of days, and so you can still use that dark time.
Wow. And when we're getting in touch with our natural cycle, when we're getting in touch with the dark time and we're going inward
Yeah.
and we're getting prepared to go outward when we ovulate, does that help you enhance your intuition or give you more insights, or how does that work with the natural cycles, with our natural abilities?
Yeah, it so much does, Lucy. And, I call it a cycle of manifestation because,
Mhm.
women don't realize that this cycle can help you get what you want. And, of course, intuition is a big part of that, right? And
Yes.
so if you, so I think I showed you this. This is the basic, what I call the cycle of balance. And so
Mhm.
it's the 28 days of the moon. And then this one has menstruation and ovulation listed below and above. But a few pages over, I have the seasons listed around the same cycle. So the great thing about this is you can overlay any cycle onto this model and see the similarities. So the menstrual
Wow.
time being at the bottom, which is similar to winter or dark moon, then if you're going clockwise, then up to the left would be springtime. So that's when you can get your new ideas going and start your projects and start connecting with your community. And then the ovulation time is the bright, social, full moon, summertime. And and again, I want to just say that, of course, these are all generalities. Everybody's going to find their own way. But the key here is to pay attention and be curious, and you'll find
Mhm.
predictable patterns for yourself that will help your life. So around the ovulation time is quite often the time when you're most, you think of the radiant full moon, the radiant summer sun, where it's focused outward, all radiant and shining brilliantly and focused
Mhm.
on everybody else, and that's how you're likely to be too. And also very appealing. Estrogen makes us all appealing, and so
Yes.
and it sharpens our logical part of our mind to be, women say, if only I could give all my really articulate presentations at that time. That's what we call the optimal times. And the more you can really, a lot of women do, this is kind of the whole point, to plan your month with your cycle in mind. So the more you can plan for the really kind of heavy lifting things during this ovulation part of the month, that's optimizing your time. And then you will find that after ovulation is the autumn part of the cycle. And that's a real great time for finishing projects. A lot of women say you get that focus to clean out the shoe closet or something when you may not want to have anything to do with that at another time of month. So it's a neat way to start being able to plan and know that I don't feel like doing this now, but maybe I will 2 weeks from now. So it's a great time to finish projects. You may feel very focused, but you may not feel as social. And you may be feeling maybe a lot of mental energy to get things done, but maybe not so much physical energy, that kind of thing. And then there's that time as it gets toward that sacred rest. And the more you actually can take a sacred rest, like anytime a woman has an opportunity to really rest for a full day, for example, at the menstrual time, that again is optimizing your time. Oh, look who's joined us. My cat has joined us.
It's a beautiful cat.
Yes, this is
Absolutely.
Whiskas. Yes, she's been with me for a year now. So that is the optimal time. And I talk a lot about self-care in my classes, where we really take the time to develop this rhythm and develop these new habits. And so everybody wants self-care. Everybody knows they need self-care. But when you start realizing that there are optimal times, and yeah, you can go out and be all charging around getting everything done, but you can't do that all the time, right? So if you know when to sort of plan ahead that I'm going to be taking more time for self-care at that optimal time, I tell you, it it's a miracle. It's just like this is here for us, and it can help us really. make the most of our energies in so many different ways.
Yes, and it sounds like you could actually, let's say you're going to be preparing a launch if you're a woman entrepreneur,
Yes,
and
yes,
you can look at this cycle and start planning it out in accordance to the rhythms in
yes.
the movements. And then you would understand that on this particular day or these little blocks of days, these are the days that I'm going to be doing the promotion.
Yeah,
And these are the days that I will be taking the inward step and really focusing on doing the back end stuff.
right.
And this is the time where I'm going to be promoting
Mhm.
and so you can it looks like you can literally just lay a template on what your strategic plan is in
Yeah.
accordance to your actual rhythm.
That's right. You said that so well, Lucy. I just love how passionate you are about this topic also. It's so great to talk with women who are understanding the power of this. And I think of it as a feminine rhythm of time because modern calendars allow for no rest. They are connected with
Correct.
nothing in nature, and it's just this straight line far ahead into the future, packed with activity, totally exhausting. It becomes meaningless. And here we have this beautiful rhythm of time that is circular, where we have this cycle that happens over and over again. And of course, that some symbol of the circle is feminine because it's kind of womb-like, kind of moon-like, and it connects everything. It makes everything it's a different rhythm of time.
Absolutely. And you mentioned earlier that you actually have some gifts for the women. Can you talk
Yes.
about the woman's calendar and what is this free gift that you're giving to the audience?
So my gift for the audience, Lucy, is pages from my book, and it's a 10-page guide to help you work with your calendar pages and start anticipating your different phases of the month and optimizing your time. And so
You can get the information for this guide in the notes regarding this show.
So yeah, so I really, and I will be happy to talk with women if they have any questions, once they download the calendar, I'll be available. But this is one of the main tools that women use. Once they start getting a clue that their rhythm might be meaningful, then working with these calendars is just a great way to begin.
From personal experience, I want to reach out to all of the ladies that are listening. When you start really paying attention to your cycle and revering it as a part of nature, and nature is abundant. Did you hear that, ladies?
Yes.
Nature is abundant. When you pay attention to this natural rhythm and you let go of those belief systems, those lies that you've been told
Yeah.
about it, if you've been told something that, that's not good or that's not the right time or how they have all of those corny jokes, which I am not going to say here because that is
No.
not what this is about. But really understanding that this is a tool for empowerment. And
Right.
as we move forward into the awakening the divine feminine, as we move forward into the woman's way, returning back to earth so that we can have that full empowerment, you're going to notice that each and every time you follow your cycle with honor and you'll start getting better at having less pain. You'll start getting better at manifesting. You'll start to know when are the times that I should really put it out there and really start creating what I want to create and what I desire in my life, and when should I pull back so
Yeah.
that I can nurture and be with friends and be with family without extending but allowing myself to be taken care of also.
Mm-hmm.
So this is so crucial to really understand. And Barbara, what is your website if somebody would like to get a hold of you or check out more information? Because you have a wealth of information on your website also.
Oh, thank you, Lucy. My website is Women's Way Moon Cycles. Women's and cycles are plural. Women's Way Moon Cycles. I have a monthly free call that I do around, usually around the dark of the moon each month, to allow women a half hour of self-care for anybody that wants to jump on that call. And we go through some kind of self-care activities, and I always give women a few minutes to write or draw, just really spontaneously, because that also brings out a different way for you to communicate with yourself.
Fabulous. Well, Barbara, I want to say thank you for being on the Wealthy Wednesday show. This has been phenomenal, and I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Lucy. I appreciate you too, and I feel delighted to be here. Thank you so much. And I want to say thank you to your guests. This is a wonderful community, and I'm so happy to be part of it.
Thank you. So until next time, abundant blessings. Thank you for listening to the Wealthy Wednesday show. This is your host, Luci McMonagle. I am the Mystic Wealth Creator, a mentor for conscious women entrepreneurs, helping them create more freedom in their business through conscious wealth creation. I would love to extend to you a free gift. And all you need to do is go to my website at lucimcmonagle.com. That's LuciMcMonagle.com to get your free gift. So until next time, abundant blessings.